everybody, I am Anne, your tour guide for today. It is great to meet you in Omsk, and I'll show you around Omsk museums. You will see the most interesting sites and learn some interesting facts about the history of Omsk. Thank you for joining me in this guide tour, and we are starting our tour here at Museum of Fine Arts. The citizens of Omsk are proud of the Vrubel Museum of Fine Arts, established in 1924. Its collection contains over 25,000 items, the most part of which is of global importance. Outstanding paintings of Russian and European artists, sculptures, the graphic arts, prints, rare print publications, furniture, and rich bronze collection. The exposition possesses one of the best collections of painting by prominent Russian artists as Vrubel, Levitin, Perevodov, Belov, Repin and Surikov. And the museum exposition occupies two buildings. The first one is formed trade corpus built upon the project of architect Krechkov in 1814. And the second one is a formed Governor-General Palace built on the left bank of the river upon the project of architect Wagner in 1859-1862. The Governor-General Palace is one of the most interesting monuments in Omsk history and architecture. It was built on the site of the ambassadorial residence for the Asian embassy, which had burned down in 1823. The house is a two-story brick-built mansion of Russian classic style. One might also see some elements of Renaissance architecture. Unlike any another Omsk building of the second half of 19th century, the palace has preserved its external architectural character. Straight ahead you can enjoy the beautiful site of Kondratiy Belov Museum. House Museum of Kondratiy Belov is located in one of the most beautiful buildings of wooden architecture of the early 20th century. Kondratiy Belov is a well-known classic in the field of landscape painting. In the center of the exposition there are portrait paintings created in the tradition of the realistic school, as well as Omsk historical paintings. The artist studio has been reconstructed in one of the rooms. The visitors can see family photos on the walls, popular books on the bookshelves, coat, hat and cane of Kondratiy Belov on the hanger, and unfinished paintings of the artist still standing on the easel. Traditionally, all excursions are being concluded with some tea drinking with Siberia pipes. During this tea drinking, visitors have the opportunity to share their opinions and impressions about the exhibition. And on Saturdays, the museum organizes Russian Romance concerts. Now we are coming up to literary museum named after Fyodor Dostoevsky. In the 1840s, Dostoevsky took part in a literary circle whose eventual goal was social reform. And when they were caught, they were immediately sent into a high-security prison and then sentenced to death. And right before the execution was scheduled to happen, a messenger arrived with a stay from the Tsar, and instead of losing his life, Dostoevsky was sent to Omsk, Siberia, for 4 years of hard labor. The house of the Omsk fortress commandant can be counted among the oldest buildings of the city. It was built in the 18th century. The commandant's office was located in this building, and the commandant's family lived here as well. There are some documents proving that the writer Fyodor Dostoevsky, who had been in Omsk prison since January of 1850, visited the last commandant of the fortress grave. It was Omsk prison where the world view of the great Russian writer was formed. All his novels recall memories about the hard days spent in prison. In Omsk, the writer worked in a brick factory. He labored in an engineering workshop and also shoveled snow from the city streets. Since it was forbidden to write in prison, Dostoevsky's main creative work in Omsk was planning his future novels. Life in prison for him was often difficult, and when he returned to normal life, he didn't like to recall those years. In 1983, Dostoevsky Literary Museum was opened in this building. Its exposition features a history of the creation and development of literary traditions in Western Siberia since 18th century. The major part of the exposition is developed to the life and works of Fyodor Dostoevsky. Next to museum is monument to Fyodor Dostoevsky.